Hello everyone to the biggest launch for POCO 2024, that is POCO F6. My name is Himanshu Tandon. I am the country head of POCO India. I just want to start this presentation by showing you one photo. This was me, 2018, when POCO F1 was launched. I was sitting at the back amongst all the fans, and what happened that day, I think it changed the landscape of the entire industry. It was the origination of POCO F1 and POCO as a brand. And I was sitting amongst you guys as one of a fan. 6 years down the line, I'm getting little nostalgic because I'm launching the 6th generation of F6 series, F series. And so this is how my journey has been, by being a POCO fan to a country head of POCO India. In the last 6 years, we have grown significantly. If you look at our shipment numbers, globally, we have crossed 60 million handsets. And India alone, we have crossed 25 million handsets. So POCO India constitutes a significant amount of contribution from a India perspective in the global region. Starting this year, we had this vision that we want to join this big boys club. Now, what is this big boys club? Big boys club, we define into two objectives. How do you attack the top 5 players? How do you get into top 5 players in the next 2 to 3 years? And number 2, how do you get to a 10 million volume, that is a 1 crore volume, and thereby entering into a big boys club? Happy to share that we have taken the very first step in that direction, that POCO India now is the number 6 Android smartphone brand in India as per the IDC 2024. So all thanks to all the fans and the partners who have supported us in this journey to make us the number 6 Android smartphone brand of India. Last year, we had grown significantly. I would like to mention few of the achievements quarter by quarter. We started last year with a 68% year-on-year growth as per Q1 2023 in the IDC. In Q2, we grew by 76.5% year-on-year as per Canalys. In Q3 again, we did not stop. We grew by around 56%. And throughout the year, we grew by around 90% last year, which is a significant milestone from being a very small brand to a big brand, thanks to all the partners and all the POCO fans who have supported us in this journey. Also last year, we became the number 1 brand on Flipkart in several quarters. Last year, we started this new channel, that is JioMart Digital, and happy to share that we became the number 1 brand on JioMart Digital in an offline space for entire 2023. So thanks GMT team. So entire 2023 and Q1 of 2024. Also, because of our growth numbers, we were being awarded as the most promising brand by ETH of 2023. Now, all these growth numbers would not have been possible because of our long-term partnerships. First of all, we'd like to thank Flipkart team. I think POCO started on Flipkart 6 years back when POCO launched F1 on the platform. And the partnership that we have with Flipkart, I think it has helped POCO grow to the position that we have right now, to become the number 6 Android smartphone brand. So we would like to thank Flipkart for that. Last year, we went into a strategic partnership with JioMart Digital, and in that, we'd like to thank all the partners from JioMart who's helped us scale in the offline space and become the number 1 brand on the platform in 2023 and Q1 2024. And lastly, how can we forget Qualcomm as our partner? I think if there was no Qualcomm, there would not have been any POCO. When F1 was launched, it was launched with Qualcomm. It's the 8 series chipset. And what happened at that time, it created the buzz in the industry, it created the disruption in the industry because it was launched at such an aggressive price point. Moving forward, we'd like to thank Qualcomm for giving us this opportunity this year to launch 8S Gen 3 chipset first by POCO in India. If you look at the overall architecture of Snapdragon, they have a 4 series processor, 6 series processor, 7 series processor, and then a flagship level 8 series processor. So thanking partners for all the support that we have got in taking this thing forward. Now, we have discussed about our growth numbers, our long-standing partnership with partners, but we had maintained a lean and a mean portfolio throughout the last few years in order to scale up our volumes. We have 4 series catering to different audiences. We have an entry-level C series, 5G disruptor M series, performance-oriented X series, and a flagship disruptor F series. We're going to talk about it one by one. First of all, the C series. Now, C series is basically for people who are looking for their first device in the market or who want to transition from a 2G or 3G device to a 4G device. Then come the M series. Currently, M series, we have 2 models, M6 5G and M6 Pro 5G. M6 5G is the most affordable 5G phone in the market right now, and M6 Pro is a market disruptor which went out of sale on Flipkart for the last 5 to 6 initial sales. Then we have the performance-oriented X series. This year, in the starting of the year, we launched X6 Pro, which was launched on Dimensity 8300 Ultra, which was an exclusive chipset for POCO, and we had around 1.4 million of Antutu score at that price point, so we were the first brand to do that. So we have this high performance-oriented X series in our portfolio. And then the legendary F series, we started with F1, we then came back with F3 GT, we launched F4, F5 was the return of the king, and then now F6 we are going to launch it today. Now, so what are the brand pillars that has helped POCO to grow over the last few years? So we have 3 brand pillars with us. First of all is the performance. I think it is safe to say, and we are proud of it, that in terms of price to performance, there is not even a single brand that is closer to us. Whether it's launching Dimensity 8300 Ultra for our X6 series, whether it's launching F1 when we started the brand, or when we are launching about 8S Gen 3 chipset in our F6. Second is our Gen Z approach. How do we do marketing, and how do we attract the Gen Z audience? We attack customer in the age bracket of 18 to 24 years of age. So this is our motto. And third is the competitive mindset. How do we interact with the competition? How do we interact with our audience? So these are the 3 brand pillars. Based on the brand pillars, with a focus on our brand pillars, POCO has also become the #1 choice among the Gen Z audience as per the TechArc survey. Thank you. Now comes the most interesting part, which we all are here for, the F series, right? Again, going back to F1, we call it the master of speed. When F1 was launched, I told you my story that I was one amongst you crowd, right? And when we launched this chipset at that price point, I think no one ever believed that we are going to launch this product at that price point. So that was F1. We took a break. We came after a few years. Then we launched a gaming-centric with maglev triggers, that is POCO F3 GT. That's why switch it up. Next year, we followed it up with F4, which was a complete phone with a Snapdragon 870 processor, a good camera. So we went back to our roots of launching F1. But last year, it was the return of the king, which got huge amount of applause from all the KOLs, and also it broke all the records on the Flipkart as a platform from a sales perspective. It was return of the king, that is F5. Thanking our partners that we were the exclusive partners to have 7+ Gen 2 chipset for our POCO F5. And now, POCO F6. Now, why do we have this God mode on? It is powered by Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 chipset. This is so powerful, so potent that I think the performance that we thought, it's closer to a God level performance, right? Hence the God mode on. I would like to show a video right now. So that was POCO F6, board mode on. So now coming to the most interesting part of this device, that is the performance. This device comes with such a powerful chipset, that is 8S Gen 3. When we were ideating with Qualcomm last year, after our success of our F5, initially we thought to launch a successor of 7 Plus Gen 2 chipset, that is 7 Plus Gen 3 chipset. But after ideating, we thought that how do you break the boundaries? That's why we decided on a chipset that is so powerful, so potent, that the parent of the chipset is 8 Gen 3. Now, it carries the same architecture as 8 Gen 3 with 1 primary core, 4 performance core and 3 efficiency cores. Not only that, it has the same architecture, same ISP architecture, same display architecture, same memory and same modern architecture as 8 Gen 3. So it is such a powerful and a potent chipset ever to be launched in the price segment that we are going to launch it today. Now, it is not only about the chipset, it is also about a performance trinity that we have, right? Performance trinity consists of top-notch processor, top-notch RAM and a latest ROM. Happy to share that on this one, we are not only giving 8S Gen 3 as a powerful chipset, we are bringing the latest LPDDR5X RAM and a UFS 4.0 even on the base variant, right? So what does this performance trinity does? It basically reduces the app installation time by 35%, app boots 19% faster, and you can copy the larger files by 50% more efficiency. So this is how the overall performance trinity works. Also, from an Antutu point of view, it backs an Antutu score of more than 1.5 million, which is closer to 8 Gen 2 processor with AI capabilities of 8 Gen 3. Let us look at F6 performance as compared to POCO F5. If you see F5, the Antutu score of F5 was closer to 1.1 million, whereas POCO F6, the Antutu score is close to 1.53 million, which is a 45 to 50% upgrade on the predecessor. Not only that, we are bringing something very interesting for our POCO gamers. This is Wild Boost Optimization 3.0. So in Wild Boost 3.0 optimization, we are not only bringing a very powerful and an elite processor of 8S Gen 3, we are bringing a very soft, very powerful and a very optimized Xiaomi Hyper OS for smoother experience for gaming. Now Wild Boost 3.0 optimization has 3 pillars. So what are these 3 pillars? First of all, the first pillar is smart performance scheduling, which helps in a fast and a stable gameplay. The second one is super resolution rendering for a high quality gameplay. And the third one is instant control for accurate gameplay. So all these pillars for Wild Boost 3.0 optimization make sure that the overall gaming experience is good. Now, we have talked about the performance trinity, the Wild Boost 3.0 optimization for gaming. What about thermals, right? First time in India, we are introducing POCO Ice Loop system. This is the first time that we are introducing in India. Now, how does this architecture work? If you look at this video, you can see vapor-liquid separation, one-way flow, which allows efficient and faster heat dissipation among the overall structure of this device. Not only that, if you see, if you see this video, this is how the entire heat dissipation works. If you see, this device has a separate Tesla valve microstructure which allows vapor liquid separation and one-way flow for a better heat management. So this is how the overall ice loop system, which is proprietary to POCO, we have introduced first time in POCO F6, which makes sure that the overall sustainability of the phone is there and the thermal temperature is well maintained. Now, how does this VC cooling, POCO ice loop technology is against the VC chamber, right? So our ice loop technology system is 3x. It's 3x more efficient than a VC cooling chamber as has been provided by the competition. Moving forward, so if you look at the entire performance piece, we have a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 system, POCO ice loop system, very first time on the POCO device, Wild Boost 3.0 optimization, which an overall Antutu score of more than 1.53 million, UFS 4.0, LPDDR5X RAM, and a Xiaomi Hyper OS. Now I would invite Varun to take you through the details of the device.
Thank you, Himanshu. Great. I mean, like, honestly, I've been waiting for this for a couple of years. He's been waiting for this for the last 5 years, right? Super excited, super jittery. So do excuse brevity. Yeah. So while you've learned everything about performance, right? We are going to tell you what does it mean for POCO when it comes to overall experience, right? So when I look at experience, right? Experience couples a bunch of things. Experience couples how your phone looks, how it works for you, how it clicks for you, and how it powers you, right? So when we are looking at experience, the first thing that came to our mind is design. And a lot of feedback from our partners at Flipkart, the fans at large, the media at large as well, right? And one of the things we learned is when it comes to the premium category, you've got vegan leather in the X6 Pro that we launched recently with the yellow color, right? And we were thinking, what is it going to take to make this phone stand out? And going back to our roots with F1, we looked at Kevlar back, a fan favorite, and I was one of the guys who couldn't get my hands on that device till date. So we felt, let's keep classic black back, right? So that is something premium, and it's a device that you'd want to keep on the table and not in your pockets. We felt design will do that justice when it's, standing out in a crowd. And also introducing something new, titanium color, first time on a POCO device, again going with our entire premium design philosophy while keeping minimalism at its core. It looks good. It's also lighter than our previous generation by 2 grams and also thinner. And coupled with that, if you look at the POCO F5, we had an IP53 rating. We've taken that up a notch as well with IP64 rating, which means you don't have to worry about being, in a dusty environment, or you don't have to be worried about those drizzles that you're running back home from, right? Your phone is well protected. So if we look at overall the design piece, you've got classic black, you've got titanium, you've got it absolutely light when it comes to the previous generation. Also, you've got IP64. My favorite part about this phone and anything that we do at POCO has been how the display performs, right? You've got a great processor. Now, what does that enable you to do, right? You either play great games on your phone or you watch great content on your phone, right? And that has to be backed by superior display or it's pointless. So if you look at what we did a couple of months back with the X6, right? We are the only phone in the market to have a 1.5K AMOLED display under 20K, and we still stand that record. Now that philosophy continues to anything we do above that price point, right? So happy to let you know that we still continue to retain this, and what this helps you do is to ensure that you have a better resolution and refresh rate on your phone. Now with that, what about colors, right? Many phones in this category still stick at 1 billion colors, right? And we are at 68.7 billion color capacity, which means truest color display being put out as an output on your phone. Now alongside that, we were looking at what else can we do to make this entire package, a sweetener, right? One of the things is 190 20 Hertz PWM dimming, which means you can game for long, you can watch content for long, and at that same time, there's going to be no strain in your eyes. With 446 pixels and with Pro HDR display, your overall content streaming experience is super premium and super, to me, when I sit and watch something on this one, I've been using this for the last 30 days, right? I don't get tired of it, right? And ultimately, that's what's important. Now, all of these features combined with the support from Dolby Vision means that your entire content streaming experience is super premium. And we spoke about a lot of high-end features, right? We spoke about, 120 Hertz display, we spoke about 446 PPI. Now, what does this all do for you, right? And here, this is something we want to touch upon, right? Because a lot of people don't have this. The TUV Rin9 certification ensures that your eyes are well protected. So, no more worries about, watching content, streaming the long hours. Wet touch display continues on the POCO F6, coming from the X6 and the X6 Pro as well, coupled with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. So if you look at the previous gen, we had the CG5 and now we've upgraded to the Victus. So which means durability and display are going in hand, are well taken care of. So if I look at the display at an overall package, we've got 68.7 billion colors, we've got 120 Hertz AMOLED display with 1.5K resolution, we've got wet touch feature, and we've got the Victus piece coming together. My favorite part, right? I'm horrible at taking pictures, to be honest, and all the fans will agree with me for that. And I'm sure you guys have complained from the previous meet, you still haven't got the pictures. Trust me, this time you're going to get it. Now, camera is very important to us, and we've been receiving good feedback from all of you over the last couple of years, and couple of improvements there, right? So over the last couple of years, one of the things that's 100% in our hand is software, right? So software tuning is a month-on-month improved process that we've been going ahead to ensure that our camera quality and its output is the best. Most of you would agree with us. With the X6 Pro, we've taken that up by a significant notch. However, we did not stop there, right? When Himanshu was speaking about going back to our roots, we weren't lying, right? So Sony's back on a POCO, right? And the last time, thank you. And the last time you saw a Sony sensor on a POCO was the F1, right? So we are going back to our roots again. Now, with this device, you've got a 50 megapixel setup at the rear. You've got the shake-free experience that continues the OIS and EIS capabilities. But my favorite part, right? All of us love shooting in the golden hour, right? And the golden hour is either the dawn or the dusk situation. Now with the weather conditions going out there, sunlight is always a photographer's treat. Without sunlight, you don't get to shoot well, right? So with an aperture 1.59 in this category, your low light photography is one of the best when it comes to output, and I'd love for you guys to try out the devices in the zones outside for you to see for yourself. 4K at 60 FPS, which means your quality and your 60 frames per second is also sorted. I'd love to show you a video for that. Shake-free, my favorite part. So a lot of us, I follow a lot of paparazzi content, all right? And half of these time, they go chasing a celebrity, like, sir, one picture, and that content shakes so much, right? You don't have time to stabilize your content, put your phone or a camera on a stabilizer. That's what, to me, OIS and EIS coupled together does for you, right? It ensures that you are always ready to take content and click it on the go, and ensure that your output is shake-free. And coming back to some of the features that Himanshu spoke about, this chipset enabled, it's an AI-powered chipset, right? And what were we able to do with that? So one of the things that we are able to do here very well is ensure that your images are, going beyond the boundaries that you've already shot. Let's take an example, like we've gone and shot something. In a traditional setup, you will have to, get into Photoshop, create extra layers and expand that image. However, with AI image expansion, yeah, so even a person who's horrible at art like me can figure this out. My absolute favorite, right? And when I was testing this back home with my wife while we were having dinner, I clicked the worst couple pictures, okay? So half the time I click it with somebody else in the background or somebody else in the picture, and we are not able to use that. So one of the features I really love here is the Magic Eraser Pro, right? So you are easily able to get any object out of the picture at ease, making it look as if you clicked it in that way. But that's not all, right? One of my favorite features in any phone is to click on the portrait mode, right? And because it just isolates everything else and puts focus on one object. However, there are a lot of times where you don't have time to do that, or you forget to do that, and you want to give that effect at a later stage. And again, in a traditional setup, you will have to go back to tools, edit it, and make that effect. With the AI bokeh effect over here, easily done. And the latest on a POCO device, and for the first time, you've got always on gesture enabled by the front selfie camera. What this helps you do is to ensure that using certain gestures, right, you are able to control the phone at large. I would love to show you a demo about this. spoke about giving you a hands-free experience on a handset, we meant it, right? So my favorite parts about this was, like, assume you're watching Netflix, right? And I have this habit of, when I start episode 1, I have to finish the entire series, right? And in the middle of that, if there's someone knocking on my door, if there's Swiggy Instamart showing up, I'm binge watching, I'm binge eating, a lot of popcorn at the table, right? I do not want to touch my beautiful screen, right? So what it allows you to do on Netflix is to ensure that with these gestures like pause, you can pause your moment, go receive the dough and come back. If you've missed a beat and you had to run, you can rewind by just doing this, volume up and down. So your entire streaming experience is now hands-free. You will get this with Netflix enabled out of the box, and within a month, create a favorite, right? So you guys were talking to us a couple of months back and saying, can you do this for YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels? Happy to let you know that within the first 30 days of getting the device in the first OTA, that will be enabled as well. And one of the other things that the video showed you is my favorite, right? And my colleagues have done this to me a bunch of times, right? I'm known for, leaving my phone completely unlocked without a password. I'm probably the most unsafe guy to leave it with a phone. And at that time, easily someone, slides into my DMs, sends some horrible text to somebody else, and then I get caught up in the wrong act. Now, what this phone does to you is, with the AI image detection, when you're away from your phone for a few seconds, it automatically locks it. So from a safety security experience, AI features to add it up, and motion tracking focus as well. And the battery. You've got good performance, you've got good display, you've got great camera. How does this stack up? I remember a couple of years back, in fact, when I started, one of my first fan meets, Himanshu and I were, throwing out a poll in the audience to ask how much charging is enough, because, you've got people doing 120, 144, and honestly, a 67 watt does 45 minutes and 100%, right? So isn't that really enough? Most of you honestly answered yes, that's more than enough. However, we said we are not settling for that, right? So we're getting a 90 watt charging support on the POCO device for the first time in India. Also, you will get a 120 watt charger out of the box. So which means it's useful for multiple other things as well. And my favorite part in terms of charging, right? And I was just looking at an example the other day when we landed. I was leaving Bangalore airport, and we honestly didn't have time to, pack up, and, phone was at 40%. Reached the airport, we had like 20-30 minutes to board, and put the phone on for charging. In 11 minutes, my phone completed 50% of charge, right? So practically, you don't have to worry about charging your phone only to 100%. You can keep charging it on the go to ensure you're fully sorted with that. So that's how the entire charging setup stacks up. You've got 90 watt turbo charging with 120 watts out of the box. You've got 100% in 35 minutes and 11 minutes for a 50% charge. Now, honestly, when we were looking at this device and we were, kind of figuring out what honestly matters to all of us, right? You've got great tech, you've got good processor, you've got great camera, but what are the smaller things that actually make a better impact for us in our daily lives? So when we were looking at it, the network and the Wi-Fi capabilities actually matter so much, right? So one is, you've got the Bluetooth 5.4 edition, you've got Wi-Fi 6, so you've got the latest capabilities on this device. You've also got NFC, you've got 15 5G bands coming in, so well stacked up, future loaded. However, right, we looked at certain scenarios, right? Where do these features come in handy with us, right? So dual SIM, dual active. So let's say you've got 2 SIM cards on your phone, right? And only you're active on one. What happens when you're receiving a call on the other? Let me show you how. So if you look at it, he's getting a call from another phone. He's on his call. And at that same time, he got another call and he was easily able to switch. And another part, so, I'm a culprit of being a late Latif to office, right? I keep, pushing it to the last 5 minutes to get my ID card swiped in, and I'm in tandem on a call. Now, what happens in a case like that is, traditionally, you're on a call, you continue to your flow. And when you exit, you generally lose range. It takes you a good 10 to 15 seconds to get that network back. However, on our device, it's less than 4 seconds, right? So which means you're on the move, you get into an elevator, lost in transition, but it doesn't feel like that at all. So this we felt is a very important feature to us, especially for those who are hustling. Gen Z loves to hustle. We are giving you a feature that helps you with that. And another favorite feature of mine is the smart SIM switch. So again, in an instance, let's say you've got 2 SIM cards, right? And you are an avid traveler. My personal experience, I used to live in Chennai prior to this. So when I used to drive down from Chennai to Bangalore, I'm mostly, synced up to Google Maps, streaming on YouTube or having a Spotify playlist buzz out for those 300 kilometers. And most of the time, when there's a dip in range 1, I have to automatically switch to the second SIM manually, right? Now what this does is, it helps you automatically, you don't have to worry about it at all. So you will not be at a single moment when you are in need of network and the switch is, spoiling that entire piece. So overall, if you look at something which really matters to us is the entire network and Wi-Fi support. And I also want to talk about gaming low latency, right? It's also a feature that all of us will need, and when we will see that when you go for a lot of games, right? Assume you are watching the IPL final or semi-final. Assume you are at one of your favorite gigs. Whenever you are in a ground with a lot of people, network starts to dip. You are not able to take calls. Content creators are not able to upload anything that they want. What this does is ensure, with the low latency piece, your network stands apart. You're able to take those calls, you're able to play a game, you're able to upload content. I remember a bunch of friends who went for a summit, a Gen Z summit recently. Most of them weren't even able to upload content and they had to come out because of the crowd. Now, what good does that do to you, right? So this is something which we feel will help creators and people, going into crowded areas, ensure that their network is not, stays uninterrupted. Himanshu, over to you. I think for the most exciting part of the evening that people are waiting for.
Now guys, the most interesting part, I think the price of the device, but wait a while. First of all, we'll just summarize the overall device for you guys. So, F6 comes with Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 processor with an Android score of 1.5 million. Wild Boost 3.0 optimization, POCO Ice Loop system, LPDDR5X RAM, UFS 4.0, latest, always on network, 5000 mAh battery, Victus, Gorilla Glass Victor on the device, 50 MP OIS plus EIS, 90 watt turbocharging. So what else do you want in a device, right? It's a fully loaded device, getting back to the roots of POCO F1 that we launched. Now, let us see how POCO F6 stacks against the POCO F5. What are the upgrades, significant upgrades that we have made